Hey everyone, welcome back to another video on Stronghold Kingdoms. In this video, I'll be going over the topic of scouting. And scouting in this game is just a good way to get some extra resources by scouting these stashes that appear on the map. And it's a good way to get a report of wolf lairs, bandit camps, AI castles, and even players' castles, so that you can devise your tactics against them if you prepare to attack them or anything. So the first things you need to actually start scouting people is the research scouts, which is under the military tab, and go all the way down here to scouts. So the first thing you'll research is just to get the one scout, and then you can actually, when you get the two scouts over here, so you can have two scouts, you can actually start upgrading the horsemanship, which increases the speeds of the scouts, and you can start upgrading the foraging, which allows you to bring in more resources from the stashes that you're actually scouting. And you actually need an increased number of scouts if you're scouting maybe some players' castles or whatever. Because when you're scouting things, you can't just send one scout. Sometimes you can against wolf lairs and bandit camps, but the more troops that people have in their castles, or the more troops that are in AI castles, it's going to kill off some of your scouts. So the more troops that they have in their castles, the more scouts that you're going to have to send. And you only need one scout to actually survive to get a report back. So let me go ahead and show you how to scout. It's pretty simple. All you do is click on the stash or the castle or wolf lair that you click on. And after you do that, go ahead and scout stash. This little menu thing will pop up. Select how many scouts you want to send. Again, the more scouts you send, the more resources you'll bring in. Each one of my scouts can only do 50. I don't have any foraging research that much because I'm not really much of a scouter for resources or whatever. I mainly just focus on producing more in my villages. So select how many scouts you want to send, and then when you're ready, go ahead and click go, and your scouts will be sent out. And the cool thing about scouts too is that you can actually recall them, unlike merchants. So even if they're like right here, you can still recall them. So that's pretty nice about scouts. So like I said earlier, if you're scouting any kind of AI or whatever, depending on how many troops that are in their castles, you might have to send like several scouts to them just to get a report back. And you only need one scout to survive to get a report back of their castle. So let's say someone's actually scouting your castle. What's going to happen, you can actually scout your own castle. If someone actually does send some scouts to your castle, it'll appear on this little tab right here that someone's sending it. It'll look like an attack, but once you actually click this, you'll see that I have no attacks incoming. But if you go over to this little tab over here, it'll show you the scouts that are going out right now. These are actually my scouts. It should say under here, but I'm scouting my own village, so that's why it's saying you're scouting of and whatever. So it'll say incoming scouts from, it would actually be Centerville 1 right here. I'm scouting Centerville 2 or whatever. But since I'm sending it from my own village, it just says it right here. So it'll actually be down here. So if this was someone scouting me, I'd probably send them a message asking them, hey, why are you scouting me? But that's for a different story. So, but if someone is definitely scouting your castle, to prevent them from actually getting report of your castle, I recommend putting 350 troops or more on your castle walls, and that'll prevent them from getting report of your castle. It'll kill all 8 of their scouts if they send 8 scouts. Although there is a small chance, I've heard, that they can actually still get 1 scout back. I heard it's like a 1 in 8 chance or something that they'll still get a report back. I'm not entirely sure about that. So that's a little bit about that. I do recommend researching a little bit of scouting in the beginning if you start a new world or whatever, because a lot of the early quests are actually scouting quests. Some of them might have you scout 8 different stashes, or something like that. So if you have 4 scouts, you can send one at a time or whatever and rack up some trips foraged or whatever for that quest. And I do not recommend scouting a lot of players or going scout crazy by scouting people's villages, because it is considered an act of war, and people might not be happy about you scouting their village. So I would only scout ones that you plan on taking or anything, or if you're a neutral, whatever, I would only recommend scouting the other neutrals or whatever, not scouting like a faction or something, because they may retaliate against you. Alright, well, that is a little bit about scouts, and I think I forgot to tell you guys where to buy the scouts. All you have to do is click on the village tab and go over here to make units, and you can buy your scouts right here. They're 100 gold, so they're a little expensive in the beginning, but after you rank up, play the game for a few weeks, they won't be really that much expensive. So that is a video on scouting. I hope you guys learned a few things, and you all have a good day.